We're here at Wazilla Media to visit and interview Dr. Fix It. And there he is up there. It's a nationally syndicated show.
Let me show you the back.
All right, there's our doc right there. He's still in the middle of fixing things up, as Dr. Fix It says. It's a work in progress.
This is Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
The owner
Al
of
Graham.
Wazilla.
Nice to meet you, young man. All right, so take me around, lads. We're rolling.
All right, this is the engineering room for WazillaMedia.com and the Dr. Fix It show. Now we step through in another engineering room. This is for the Big Biz show. Nationally syndicated stock show. 130 markets, 35 million homes. It's a simulcast with radio, Salem Station Radio, and on the Biz channel. This studio also doubles for a Dr. Fix It set as well. All these things are removable, and it takes about a half an hour, and everything's out of the way, and then we set up the Dr. Fix It set.
So these are entrepreneurs here, though. This is not big media. This is some guys, right? Very good.
Well, the Biz channel is an established channel. It's on the cable networks, and the Big Biz show is like I said, it's a nationally syndicated.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the brains behind this.
Oh, the brains behind this is all entrepreneurs here.
Yeah,
yes,
we love that.
Here, we all put our money together, and we're getting it done.
So this now, the entrepreneur can do it again with the technology the way it is, and the huge cost it used to run a big show. Now the media's changed dramatically.
Well, let me give you an example. Perfect example. Whenever you think of a TV show, whenever you think of TV, right, you think of all these camera guys.
Yeah.
You got a big 200-pound guy on a camera, and he's on the rails on the ground, and he's got this big monstrosity. He's going back and forth. Well, let me show you the new technology. Now, this is the camera.
Remote.
This is the camera right here. HD quality.
Oh my gosh.
Remote, pans in, pans out. Everything is done. We have 3 of them in this studio.
Automatically.
Come here.
Wow.
It's all done right here now. Now one guy runs all of them. He has a joystick. He's got to zoom in and out. He can switch camera back and forth.
Each camera has 6 presets too.
Oh, already.
So boom, boom,
well,
this is Curtis.
Hello, Curtis. Nice to meet you, young man. Al Graham. Listen, I was going to tell you this. In the old days, the technology was where anyone could make a movie. When it first started. I mean, what I'm saying, it was very simple. All these years later, it's gotten simple, even though it's highly technical. It's all.
It's at the tip of your hand.
It is now. That's what I've been telling people. So you can make a movie now.
Let me show you my studio.
This is Dr. Fix It. Okay, now we're in the Dr. Fix It studio. Very cool. So tell me about the Dr. Fix It show.
The Dr. Fix It show is a lighthearted look at home improvement and repair. We come in here every Saturday from 8 to 10 in the morning, myself and Bobcat Billy. I sit in almost the EIB chair. It is the DFI chair, the Dr. Fix It Network.
So Bobcat Billy, your sidekick there.
Yeah, Bobcat Billy is my sidekick right there, making fun of. You know what? And when this YouTube video was actually being filmed, I did not know he was behind me. I mean, look at the seriousness of my face. I had no idea he was back there. So,
now, when you say a lighthearted look at Fix It, what do you mean by that?
Have you ever heard of Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers?
No.
They do car talk on NPR. They've
been
doing it. Oh yeah, everybody knows Click and Clack, right? Tom and Ray Mayatsu. Well, I've been a fan of theirs for over 30 years when they first started. And I always thought, boy, when I get older and I grow up, I'd like to do a home improvement show just like those guys. It's totally funny. It's entertainment first. I've got over 37 years experience as a general contractor. I've done all my own concrete framing for years and years and years, so nobody can BS me. I know how to fix things.
That's right.
Period. So I got the idea about 5-6 years, actually probably about 10 years ago now. I went to a radio station and I pitched it. They said, get out of here, and it'll never happen. So I kept on and I kept on. About 7 years ago, we went on air for the first time. Dr. Fix It, Bobcat Billy, and it's like the Click and Clack of home improvement.
And it works.
Oh, it works great. I'll give you an example. We got a call a couple months ago. Joe from Chula Vista called and said, hey, Dr. Fix It, just bought one of those repo houses in Chula Vista. It's a 2-story house, and it's got a bathroom upstairs, and the bathroom and the toilet was kind of wobbly, and it's not really leaking, but we had heard on your show before that you've got some types of fiberglass wedges or something that won't rot away to stabilize the toilet. Before I get a word out of my mouth, Bobcat Billy jumps in and says, yeah, wait a minute. You called a couple months. Yeah, you're that. Okay. It's your wife's the 400-pounder, right? That's the problem. That's why the toilet's rocking. So that's the kind of show that we do. And we actually took that for about half an hour on air. And we ran
rolled it, you mean? Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that we do. Are you coming from a Poway or what? Yeah. You want to get, well, for you, yeah, you just get off at Mir Mesa, then you go down to Camino Ruiz. You go down to Camino Ruiz, and you make a left on Ruiz, R-U-I-Z. And make a left, and head south. Game that we have on the show that is called Stump the Doc. Oh, yeah. So we had a guy call in one day from Florida, who was originally from New York. And he calls and he says, "Hey Doc, what's a firebox?" And I said, "Oh, a firebox. Now, is this the kind of firebox you have on the East Coast?" He says, "Yeah, you're never going to get it because you're a California guy." I said, "Yeah, right. Well, I know what the firebox is. That's in the old boilers because you use heating oil back there for your heating radiators. So that box where the filament is, where the flame comes out to boil your water in the boiler, that's called a firebox." Clunk, the guy hung up. So you can't BS Dr. Fix It. Dr. Fix It knows it all. Where am I going with this? Yeah. I'm going for national syndication. We're going for national TV. We've already signed a deal with the Biz Channel. In February, you're going to start seeing the business of building with Dr. Fix It's going to be on the Biz Channel. The business of building with Dr. Fix It. So we're going there. And like I mentioned earlier, that's going to get pumped into 130 million homes. I'm sorry, 130 markets, 35 million homes. Wow. So that's what we're doing there. On the radio side, we also do a simulcast with KCBQ Radio. Yeah. That's a syndicated show. That's all over the place. We're the #1 rated home improvement show now in the Southwest. We're #3 in the nation.
I predict success. I love the...
I'm hoping and praying.
Yeah. How'd you get into PGR?
Well, I have a son-in-law that is a Navy pilot.
So let's start again. PGR, Patriot Guard Riders. Tell them how they started. Why?
PGR, Patriot Guard Riders, is a bunch of guys and gals around the United States that was originally formed, I believe, in the state of Kansas and Oklahoma, somewhere around there, to combat the Westboro Baptist Church. Some of you might not know who the Westboro Baptist Church is. They're those bunch of idiots that like to protest at our fallen heroes' funerals. And negatively protest. They, God hates fags and all that other stuff, and they're that one. So that's how the PGR formed. Yeah. It was to block those people out when they attended some of our heroes' funerals. Wow. Well, it grew and it grew and it grew.
So you have like 270,000 members.
Oh, it's more than that. It's growing every single day.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I also ride with the Los Angeles chapters, the Riverside chapters, as well as the San Diego chapters, because I live in northern San Diego County, so it's easy for me to do both. Mm-hmm. But what's happened is we didn't realize that the support that the Patriot Guard gives to the families, to the grieving families, is unbelievable. Yeah. I would have never thought of it. I thought of it as a bunch of old guys riding their Harleys, right? But when I did my first Navy SEAL ride, and we went to the mortuary to pick up the Navy SEAL, the mother of the Navy SEAL, Jesse Pittman, was there to greet every one of the PGR riders, and she hugged you talk about a tearjerker. Yeah. She hugged every single one of them and said, "You have no idea what this means to me. My son didn't die in vain. Look at the support and the outpouring. We had no idea." And it's all because of the PGR.
I want to ask you a personal question. Just a little while ago, you started talking and then almost teared up. In fact, you did tear up. Uh-huh. Explain that emotion. What exactly happened to you at that second?
Well, I was never in the military, so I don't really know what it's like to be in harm's way and have to see and to do things that we ask our military to do. But I do have a son-in-law who's a Navy pilot, and about 2 years ago we got a call in the middle of the night saying that he'd been shot down and he was probably KIA. So I know what that feeling is. I know how the Gold Star family feel. I just can't explain it. It was the most terrible thing I've ever felt in my life. Fortunately for us, our son-in-law wasn't KIA, so I just know how these parents feel and how these family members feel, and it just kills me inside. Every time I see I just read about it or I see something about it. Even the welcome homes is an emotional event. I mean, they even have the amputees there from their units when they're released from the hospital here at the Balboa Naval Station, at the Balboa Naval Hospital. It's just the emotion is overwhelming.
Lads, well, this is the inside of the studio once again. Thank you very much for all the information. It's a real thrill.
I can show you my studio here while we're waiting.
Go ahead.
Give you a little bit of a tour. He's with the newspaper.
So can you tell me this? Where do you expect to be in a year from now?
Rich and famous. I should expect that. I want to be. I'm telling you.
You've got a really wonderful thing going because, as I was trying to explain, at the turn of the century, when no one had a hold of it, every guy could make a little movie, and Hollywood was free until the big combine came.
Camera, light.
There you go.
Action.
But isn't it kind of like that now?
That's what's happening with YouTube.
Yeah.
You got the
Oh,
kids have GarageBand. They can record a hit record on
You
it.
can make a movie on your
Make a
phone.
movie on their phone.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing to see. And you guys are at the forefront here, you know, little entrepreneurs, but you've got a shot at a big thing here, big window.
Yeah. Well, these guys are doing pretty good right now. This is the show, the Big Fish show. And,
Yeah, they do good, huh?
with Rusty Nails and Bob
I
Sullivan.
remember Rusty used to have his own show, remember?
Yeah.
So this is actually a...
This is where I would put graphics up. This, I guess I could.
These are called, what, micro studios, like a micro brewery.
Micro studio, yeah. It's
so-
kind of a niche type of thing
Yeah.
where, okay, you can't go to CBS and do your show, but you can do it here.
That's right.
Actually, a lot of churches use the same gear,
Really?
and it's gotten so good that why
Yeah.
can't you broadcast with it?
Really. And how about the expense that used to be and all of that? All the processes you used to have, the editor, get to step back to this. Boy,
We still got to pay the guys to do it.
Yeah.
Talent is still talent. You know?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've had a lovely tour of the studio, the micro studio of Dr. Fix It and the Biz Channel. And that's Rusty Nails. I remember him. They had his own...
Yeah, Russ is one of the big characters.
Yeah, he had a great show, and a young man. I remember him. All right, so they're still fixing it up, and we're going to go outside to finish our interview about the Patriot Rider. So, you're one of the Patriot Riders, and these guys put in some miles. You did. Tell me about the one you just did.
The one we did yesterday was a 19-year-old Marine that was killed in Camp Pendleton a few weeks ago. We escorted him from the mortuary in Oceanside all the way to Simi Valley, 135 miles. However, I'm 30 miles from my home to the mortuary, so that was about 100, due to math, about 165, 170 miles one way.
I've seen you guys in the rain. It's almost like...
Yeah, I'm not too big on the rain because then I have to clean the bike.
Yeah.
But and I'm not too big on the snow. Thank goodness it doesn't snow around here. But I'm really big on showing my support, and whenever there's a ride, I do everything I can to be there.
Well, as I say, when you guys ride by, it stirs pride in the hearts of people. You don't see it because you're busy. But I'm going to show you some footage of the reaction to it. It's a wonderful thing.
And I want to mention one other thing,
Yeah,
too.
go ahead.
Yesterday, there was only 6 of us that showed up for the ride to go to Simi Valley, because a lot of people down for the welcome home that was down here on North Island. We started with 6 bikes. By the time we got up to Simi Valley, we had almost 100 bikes.
Oh,
People were adding on. There were people with their headlights on following us that didn't even have more than one person in the car in for the express lane, but they put their headlights and they were following us all the way up there.
Wow, inspiration.
It's really amazing. And we had people on the overpasses too that would just stop, and former military would salute. It's really a neat thing, but it's an emotional ride.
Oh,
Every ride is emotional. A lot of this is made possible because of Mike Shelby from San Diego Harley. New York Mike, people don't realize it, but he's a supporter of the PGR financially as well as monetarily. Anybody has a problem with a bike, Mike takes care of it. When we have, like we had the Navy SEALs go down, other Navy SEALs flew in from around the country. Mike took care of them. He put them all on bikes.
So Harley Davidson is one of your biggest supporters here, huh?
San Diego Harley Davidson is my hugest supporter,
And who
my
runs
best
that?
sponsor. That's run by a man named Mike Shelby. He's a former Vietnam vet, stand-up guy. I wouldn't mess with this guy either. But he's a hell of a dude, and you want to know the truth, you go talk to Mike. He will give it to you plain.
That's great.